Welcome back, Jazzgrass Gaming.
Does this piece of shit game ever get better?
Yes, definitely. It's great. It's a beaut.
Because, so in between the episodes, we were discussing this level, and I was telling him how I was looking at him for 10 minutes playing this level.
It's shit level.
And basically everyone that worked on this game wasn't actually made aware that it was supposed to be a video game.
It was like, oh, let's make it hard.
Let's just put them in a box.
Let's make it when gamers were sweaty.
Let them shoot at enemies that are almost impossible to angle.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the enemy is just
slaughtering your troops.
Your bullets are coming out at 45 degree angles. Your enemies have perfect aim. Also, your teammates are deeply suicidal and want to be killed specifically by you and not the enemy.
Hello? Pick up the weapon. Thank you. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? Little boy. You know what? If you're gonna throw some nades, I'm gonna throw some nades.
You know, Cortana, this ain't exactly the time to throw sass. All this dude's saying is that he's gonna die if you don't hurry up, alright? You're being a real bitch about this.
I know, Cortana, it's being a bumpy ride, but whose idea was it to fucking get Captain Keys out of this ship? Not mine! For all I care, he could rot. Spoiler alert.
Oh. Well, now you spoiled it for me. Now I know he's gonna betray us in the future.
No! More disturbing things happen.
Oh. Okay.
Like for all the faults in the gameplay, at least they've figured out how to write an alright story. Oh, yo, what's up, dude? How about I fucking smack you in the face?
Remember the time when creating a good single player story was still something game companies focused on?
Yep.
Like, if a game had only its multiplayer to go on as a merit, people would be like, what?
What?
Lame?
And here they were just like, you know what?
And now it's just like, people skip the story, like, don't even touch the story mode and only play the multiplayer.
Wait, imagine playing fucking Sandstorm, or fucking Sandstorm again, a fucking Spec Ops The Line like that. Just skipping everything. You'd be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, that's one of the few games.
No, but take for example Call of Duty. Like,
back in the old days.
After a while, when they started doing the yearly releases, you know, when a new Call of Duty would come out every goddamn year, they would basically, you know, there were plenty of people who were like, oh, there's a story. That dude was going nuts. He had a moment. He
was so happy that he killed me.
He just killed you with
oh, I did it! I did it, guys! I killed the Master Chief! Now surely my lady will fuck me!
He had a fucking seizure in celebration.
That's the culture they live in. You gotta kill the Master Chief to get laid with a woman. Yeah, let me just fucking empty this out on you. Come on. Come on. Smack time, bitch.
So there's this idea that's been floating in my head.
Ooh, you had an idea floating in your head.
What if we figure out how to set up, you know, playlists and do a little GTA Online thing, like where we do races against each other?
Dude, that would be pretty funny, like stunt races and
like,
everything.
It's just the two of us, but I mean,
yeah, just like they do with fucking Funhouse and oh shit, it's the big boys. Toro, alright. Yeah, there's a very specific way of dealing with these guys. Ah, it's not this way.
Why don't just do a recording of where we join the Funhouse playlists? I mean, they usually play with viewers, right?
Yeah, they do.
So you just hop on it or just record without telling them anything. Just record our own damn episodes.
Where's the other one?
I don't know. Where is the other one?
My team deal with it? Unlikely.
No, but I've been thinking now, we could pretty easily just, like, I'm pretty sure we should just be able to just set up a little playlist of little maps, different little maps, and just play them. But yeah, the issue is of course the amount of people. You know, it's only you and me because I'm pretty sure Shane doesn't own GTA Online on
Wait,
PC.
He doesn't?
I'm
Dang.
pretty sure he doesn't.
Calls himself a
You
gamer.
know, we all know Damien isn't going to run GTA 5.
Oh, he
He still hasn't upgraded
What the
his
fuck? I
PC.
killed myself with a grenade! Oh no, really? Fuck, man. Didn't he ever give me a little fucking checkpoint at the big boys? Alright, fucking hell. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Come at me, son. I got things to do, places to be, pussy to eat.
I feel like
Oop. Die.
I feel like we're gonna be in this level for a little while.
It's a very annoying level. I'll tell you that much, Brian. For some reason, I don't know why they threw in this level in like the early game. Like because there's levels after this where it's just like easy breezing. It's fun. It's engaging. Got a nice little open field to play with. Enemies aren't too annoying. Oh, I don't kill myself like that. Come on,
Oof.
pressing wrong buttons.
So, you know, I like to read those SCP stories.
You'll
Files and
oh
whatnot.
no. Oh fuck.
So they, you know, they recently released this new series, right? That basically they released like 1,000 approved files and tales and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're currently on like series 5, so it's like 5 to 6,000. And let me tell you, man, I feel like lately the stories are beginning to become more and more like action manga than what it used to be.
And then ooh, spooky idea that we
Like,
could.
well, I mean, so there are some really clever ones out there that like actually play on like the anomalous side of things really well, and then there are some tales that have come out that are just straight up, you know, X-Men fan fiction.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like an SCP has given some people like superpowers, and for some reason, like the first person that gets like the superpowers immediately breaches containment and escapes, right?
Yes, of course.
And the Foundation in all their wisdom goes, okay, so we have this serum that gives people superpowers and makes them immediately want to escape and able to escape. Let's keep testing this on enough people to form a small village.
Very smart.
So that's exactly what these escaped mutant D class have done. You know, and then there's there's one that can basically procure any weapon invented or that will be invented by humanity. There's there's the spookers, as they call them, I think.
Spookers?
Basically,
Spookers?
they're invisible mutants, right? And some of them like phase in and out rapidly a lot because they haven't quite got their powers under control. And there's one with mind reading, you know, and there's an evil villain, and oh, the Void Thrower. I'm not. No, that's not. I'm not making this up, Dennis. You have to understand. This is what the SCP Foundation has become nowadays.
And they're okay with this. I love how this game turns into Dark Souls every now and then.
They're perfectly fine with that. Wow. Okay.
Like I said.
Exciting. So you know, but the thing about that is
Finally.
yeah, because these are because you read these and it's like, oh, this must be like a tale or something. But the thing is, like, the SCP Foundation, like the canon is whatever you make of it, right? It's a fluid canon. So some SCPs will contradict one another, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. You believe what you want to believe. But you know, I feel like people have taken this to just be like, okay, so I'll just turn whatever the SCP Foundation into whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I don't know, I feel like the quality of the stories have kind of, like, they've increased but simultaneously decreased.
Oh shit.
Like, just because there's more of them now doesn't necessarily mean that they're all high quality. Like, a lot of them as well is just like, oh, I cannot be arsed to come up with a good reasoning or a good idea or something to add to the story, so I'll just put it in a black box with redacted on it.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's
And
just.
they do that with almost every like with some stories, they do it with every single important plot point, right? So all of the important plot points are just stuff that you have to imagine yourself. So it's just like, well, then why did you write this? Like, if I have to imagine 90% of what's important, then I may as well have just written the story myself, don't you think?
Well, that's the kind of I feel like, because it used to be like the SCP Foundation. It's like, you know, a group of people who just kind of agree on like, oh, write this shit. But I feel like it's just too popular now. So there's just too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, because everybody can submit a story for approval,
Yeah.
right? And you know, you're gonna get some good ones, you're gonna get some bad ones. So you're gonna get some that have been written that may have been written by, you know, but may have only gotten approved because they were friends with someone. Like that's
Exactly.
I'm not trying to throw any weird accusations, but like I'm just trying to justify the presence of SCPs that are just very, in my opinion, very lazily or just very badly written, right? That I just feel like don't necessarily deserve being in the spotlight. There are some tales out there that just read like bad fan fiction. Controversial opinion, the end of death is one such tale that I'm like, really? Are we really doing this? Like, okay, take for example, this is an example of a really well written SCP story, is the Ouroboros cycle. It's this massive multi-part story that's about killing the O5 Council of the SCP Foundation. Because as it turns out, you know, the SCP Foundation is what's putting in all the anomalies in the first place.
See you guys.
And by researching them, and you know, by you know, doing all the scientific experiments on them, they're actually making it so that there's a wound in reality that causes more of them to spawn. If they more anomalies to appear. If they just left it alone and let the unknown be unknown, that it wouldn't have come into existence in the first place, right?
Yeah.
And the idea is that they hunt these O5 council members one by one, but they're like members of like the largest. Why did you do that?
Because I'm a fucking idiot, Brian.
The largest.
What do you think I did
anomalous foundation on the planet. So you know, of course, they're gonna be some weird, you know, extra special people. But it's this really cool tale that really fits the theme of, you know, being a dark underground. You're not. You know, you're like this hidden society, this hidden army, if you will, a secret army, out on your way to basically save the world without the world ever knowing it's being saved. And it works really well, and they write it in a way that really pulls you into this feeling of being a secret agent and going on these crazy missions. But then there are tales that is just like, oh, and then they were all flesh and gore and it's just
Okay. Yeah, you gotta get the slasher in there, dude.
Yeah, but
How, without gore, something can't be disturbing anymore.
Usually when they write up these stories, you know, they get you interested. And like, oh, this is real mysterious. I wonder what this is gonna, you know, what the payoff is gonna be, what's gonna lead up to. And it's like, oh, just a slasher ending, okay.
Big sad.
You know, I've read those a million times on this very site already. I really appreciate it if you came up with something a little different. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just having too.
Maybe you're too jaded, too old.
Well, maybe I just have too unrealistic expectations.
Well, that's the
Maybe
thing
I'm
I
being
feel.
too demanding.
It's just like when it's a bunch of guys figuring out what to do. Like it's just gonna be a mess. What the fuck did you just? Yeah. What?
Kind of like Jazzgrass.
Oh yeah, dude. We just do whatever the fuck we want. There's no board of directors being like, all right, let's approve this, let's approve that. Make sure that no, just fucking do it. We're the boss. Arcade shop. All right, guys, we're running through this. I only got 2 health. I'm looking around for health packs.
SCP Wiki, don't get me wrong. And I'm not gonna name and shame any authors or stories that I think are shit, except for the end of death. I didn't quite like it.
Well, that's kind of what it also reminds me of a little bit. It's like, remember the old times of science fiction where you had like, what the fuck? Where you had like these weekly papers that you could like send in your science fiction story, and you had these editors that like decided if something is gonna go in or not. I feel like the SCP is like a lot like that. Because a lot of spite also came from that, like with editors being like picking favorites and everything. Being like, oh, even though it's shit, I'm still gonna put it in. Or even though this guy actually makes some real good stuff and put in some hard work, I don't like him, so fuck him. He doesn't make the sci-fi I wanted it to make.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's that it's become more. I feel like these days it's become a lot more fantasy than sci-fi.
Yeah.
A lot more because the idea behind the SCP was like supposed to be. It's very sterile. It's very cold-blooded, scientific. But then they write these epic tales of scientists becoming dear gods and whatnot, and I don't fucking know.
It's like, who
And
cares?
it's like, bruh, what
I want to explore some fucking things about humanity
it's
here.
like, it's a cool story, I like it, but God, it's not, it doesn't really, does this fit with the SCP? I don't know. I don't know. Or when they're trying to write a realistic like audio log, like an audio transcript log, and it's just the most overly melodramatic, theatric shit, and it's like that's not how that would go in real life. They wouldn't. They would be cursed. They would be shitting themselves, and even if they were trained not to. They would still like they would still keep it at least
Like what? Because that's what I don't understand. It's like why are you gonna have some fucking creepy ass horror shit, but your protagonist is just gonna be like, oh, scary stuff is happening here.
Why is half your military task force comprised of poetrists? Or of poets, not poetrists.
They make love, not war, for some reason. I don't know, man. Humanity took some weird turns in the future. They train them with hugs and care and love. So see you guys next time when we try and figure out some different science fiction. See ya, bye!
Brr.